Let's have a look at the SCHZ spreadsheet where I've downloaded all the prices, the daily prices for Schwab's Aggregate Bond Fund. SCHZ follows the Bloomberg Aggregate Bond Fund, and you can learn more about it on the various web pages such as Morningstar, or in fact, just go to Schwab's web page. But here we have the daily prices starting in July of 2011, going all the way to August of 2024. And what we want to do is get an understanding of how this bond fund has behaved over that time period, and in particular, what kind of interest does it provide? And so we can go and have a look at the plot. You click down here on the plot tab, and this is the actual price if you invested $50,000 in the bond fund. If you reinvested the interest, as they say, reinvest the dividends. If you reinvest the interest, then you would have this blue line. The amount of interest being provided by the black line is this green line, which follows the right-hand y-axis. And this is the running sum of all of the interest provided by this black line. So what we want to do is have a look at, say, investing $50,000 in this SCHZ fund starting here in July of 2011. The slope of that green line is about $1,200. This is an annual counting that's going on here. So if you invested $50,000, the SCHZ fund would provide about $1,200 or so dollars per year. And you would be taxed on that if you were holding this in your taxable accounts. Now, the other alternative way of looking at these sorts of things is to say, well, let's say I'm retired and I want to live off from the interest. I don't want to attach myself to the principal, rather I want to live off the interest. In which case, maybe in retirement, you've decided that, you want to put $1 million into this bond fund because you've well invested and you have the monies to do that. This $1 million invested would look like this. It looks very similar to the 50,000, just changing the y-axis values. Now we're going to say, okay, you're going to live, or you're going to have this black line as your invested amount, and then you're going to live off from this running sum green line. That's the interest. So let's go back here and we see that the slope of that line means that the $1 million investment in SCHZ would provide you with about $25,000 per year. So that's how you read this. Whatever numbers you put in here, let's say $500,000, then the bond fund is going to provide you with about $12,500 per year in interest that you could live off from and do very little in terms of changing the overall principal. This downfall right here, this was when inflation went up and therefore bond prices went down. All right, so you can have a look at this spreadsheet. I hope that's useful for you.